Imagine a B2B sales team huddling on a Monday morning. The account executive preps a new pitch deck, customer success manager scrambles to answer a client's question, and marketing just launched a campaign that no one in sales knew about. Sound familiar? Well, in today's episode, we're talking about how sales enablement is breaking out of its silo. No more just for sales reps. It's now a team sport across your entire revenue org, from marketing to customer success to product and RevOps. Everyone's going to get in on the enablement action to win and retain business. So before you grab that coffee, get ready. We're diving into the latest on collaborative enablement, why it's catching fire in B2B companies, and how it's shaking up the way teams work together. And if you're listening to this and thinking, well, my business doesn't have all those departments yet, I'm not quite there yet, still listen in. This applies to your $1 million business and your $1 billion business. So keep those ears open, a mind open, and have some fun. It's time for Rascal Ramp, unfiltered truth, straight talk, no fluff. All right, I've got a little bit of a bone to pick. Why on earth are some companies still treating sales enablement like it's a private clubhouse for AEs and SDRs? Look, if 2025 has taught us anything, it's that staying in our lanes is a one-way ticket to missing quota town. I'm calling it the old school enablement model is dead. Dead. If your marketing, customer success, and product teams aren't as enabled as your sellers, you're basically playing football with half the team on the bench. Here's my bold take. Enablement shouldn't live in a sales silo. It should be the glue holding your whole revenue engine together. I've seen companies burn through budget on fancy sales trainings only to have their CSMs and partners completely out of the loop. Then we wonder why messaging is inconsistent and customers get mixed signals. It's 100% because we enablement folks were too busy obsessing over the next pitch deck for reps instead of empowering the entire go-to-market crew. Well, it's time to fix that. No more excuses. If you touch the customer, you're on the team and you get a playbook, period. So yeah, I'm a bit rascal about this one. I say torch the silos, invite everyone to the enablement party, and watch how fast things start aligning with marketing, sales, CS, product, and RevOps. All march to the same drum. If that ruffles some feathers, well, good. It's about time sales enablement starts taking a larger leadership role in every organization. Bold enough for you? Let's back it up with some facts and trends next before I really get going. Let's jump into the data and trends that are absolutely redefining what enablement looks in any company. So here's what's happening on the front lines of B2B sales enablement right now. From sales enablement to revenue enablement, the scope is expanding beyond just sellers. More companies are shifting to a revenue enablement approach that encompasses marketing, customer success, product, and more. Essentially, anyone who interacts with the buyer, well, you're in. As one analyst put it, in today's complex B2B environment, revenue generation is a team sport involving multiple departments. High-performing organizations know this and are unifying previously siloed teams under one enablement strategy. In fact, HighSpot's latest industry report found that siloed teams are a warning sign, and top companies are eliminating cross-functional silos in enablement to help their teams execute with precision. The message is clear. Collaborative enablement across the full revenue team is becoming the new gold standard. Next up is unified messaging and playbooks across all roles. A huge driver of this trend is the need for consistency at every customer touchpoint. When sales, marketing, and CS each do their own thing, you get Frankenstein's monster messaging. Recent research by Allego underscores that misalignment is a major barrier. 18% of enablement teams cite siloed departments as a top challenge, causing inconsistent content and training. The best companies are tackling this head on. They treat enablement as a cross-functional discipline. When sales, marketing, and enablement operate in silos, the customer experience suffers. The best organizations align all three teams around a shared strategy, ensuring reps get consistent messaging, training, and support at every stage, says Ray from Allego.com. Some firms have even formed content committees that include marketing, sales, enablement, sales leaders, and ops to govern messaging and keep everyone on script. And I will say right now, this does not just apply to tech companies. Like, I understand sales enablement, and a lot of what I'm saying just screams tech startup everywhere. But the thing is actually, if you aren't tech and you're listening to this right now, you have the greatest opportunity available to you, because most industries have not caught up to the revenue models that tech companies have been using. And it's a huge opportunity for you. So what's the result? Tighter playbooks and unified processes that build trust with customers instead of confusion. All right, next up is all eyes on customer retention and expansion. In an uncertain economy, growth from existing customers is king, and that is forcing teams to align like never before. 73% of chief sales officers say their top priority for 2025 is growing business with existing customers. You can bet those CS and account management teams are getting a lot more enablement love now. Gartner experts at a recent conference hammered this home. A unified cross-functional approach is essential to deliver the kind of customer value that drives retention and expansion. In other words, keeping customers happy isn't just on the CSMs. It's on product to deliver, on marketing to set the right expectations, on sales to sell the right solutions, and on enablement to equip all of them with a cohesive strategy. Interestingly, companies that truly embrace this broader revenue enablement ethos are seeing measurable payoffs. Early data shows companies adopting revenue enablement strategies achieve 35% higher customer retention and 25% faster expansion opportunities on average. Great cross-functional teams, well, that alignment equals more revenue stickiness. Hard to argue with that. All right, now let's break down technology and AI as enablers of alignment. What's making this cross-functional enablement push possible? Well, a lot of it comes down to tools and tech. We're seeing a boom in what? Revenue enablement platforms. Think of unified systems that combine content management, training, coaching, and analytics for all go-to-market roles. The goal, a simple source of truth and workflow for the entire revenue team. These platforms are increasingly AI-powered, which helps personalize training at scale and surface insights across all departments. One of my favorite products that is doing this right now is Alicio. Go check them out. It'll be in the show notes. For example, organizations integrating AI into the sales process have boosted lead conversion by 50% and improved sales productivity by 30% on average. And those applying AI to sales training saw 3.3% higher year-over-year growth in sales quota attainment versus firms using AI in isolation. The takeaway, smart use of tech can bind teams together, whether it's using AI to automatically distribute updated messaging to reps and CSMs at once, or analytics that show marketing exactly which content is driving sales so they can double down on what works. The tools to support cross-functional enablement are absolutely here, and forward-looking companies are investing in them now. In short, the trend is clear. B2B organizations are architecting enablement to be a team effort across the entire revenue org. They're aligning on one strategy, sharing data and content, and leveraging technology to make sure everyone from the BDR to the account manager to the partner rep is singing from the same hymn sheet. And they're doing it because it drives results, more consistency, higher productivity, and revenue growth that goes beyond just net new deals. Welcome to Why This Works and Why It Doesn't. Real strategies, real results, no sugarcoating. Now that we've unpacked the trends and numbers, let me share my perspective on how this plays out in real life. As someone who's been in the enablement trenches, I can tell you this cross-functional approach isn't just a fluffy idea. It's becoming table stakes for high growth teams. I have helped companies that are just getting started with a few $100,000 per year in revenue. Geez, I've even helped pre-revenue startups all the way up to hundreds of millions of dollars, close to $1 billion. And I will tell you, I have sales enablement on my heart because as someone who was an individual contributor for so long, then running my own business for 7 years, doing my own selling, and then as a fractional CRO, I'm still selling, baby. And when I see it disconnected, when I see enablement not doing what it can do, it absolutely crushes my soul because one of the biggest reasons I left corporate America to start my own company is because I saw this huge opportunity for cross-functional execution and collaboration using sales enablement. And I have been extremely successful in deploying this for many, 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 many companies. So if you're listening to this, like I said before, it absolutely does not matter if you're a tech company. I have helped all different types of companies with sales enablement, and it's mission critical. Now, I will tell you, building your internal sales enablement team takes a lot of revenue, a lot of leadership, and a lot of time. So if you're not quite there, this is exactly why you hire a firm like mine to come in and build out all of your sales enablement so that you don't have to. It's one of those use cases that is just an absolute no-brainer if you're in the messy middle within your organization. And you know what? This might be a huge cultural shift for everyone, but that's okay. That is what being a rascal is all about. But what also I know it's all about is making more money, keeping more clients, and growing ya biz. And you know what you can expect to have happen? Marketing and sales finally running coordinated campaigns with messaging that actually matched. Sales closed faster, way faster, because prospects heard a consistent story from the first white paper to the final proposal. And customer success started smashing their revenue targets. They had the same product playbooks and competitive intel that sales used. So upsell conversations felt like a seamless continuation of the sales process. The revenue impact will be tangible. Alignment, what does it do? Alignment breeds speed and trust. No more, I've never heard about this between departments. Everyone was in the loop by design. So let's take a couple examples here. Think about a product launch. Traditionally, marketing makes the assets. Product trains the sales folks on how features work. Sales does its big push, and CS scrambles later to support new customers. Often, with minimal briefing. In a cross-functional enablement world, the launch would look very different. Before the launch, an enablement lead coordinates a unified playbook. Marketing, product, sales, CS, and RevOps all contribute. The messaging is nailed down together. Marketing knows that sales will pitch. Sales knows that onboarding CS will deliver, etc. They even role play the customer journey end to end. So when day one of the launch hits, every team speaks the same script. AEs can smoothly hand off to what? A new client, to a CSM without any information lost in translation because the CSM was trained on the same value points and objections. It's magic when it works. The customer feels like everyone at the company just gets it. One great example is that I can recall a case study about Red Hat's sales org implementing a cross-functional content committee and tightening up their outreach sequences. It led to a 15% jump in positive response rates because the messaging got so much more consistent across outreach. That's the power of alignment. From my seat, enablement is evolving into a kind of internal consultancy and coaching function for the whole revenue team. The best enablement leaders I know are partnering deeply with other departments. They're helping marketing refine content strategy with direct sales feedback or working with RevOps to unify metrics and dashboards so everyone tracks success the same way. They're even coaching managers in different orgs on how to reinforce the right behaviors. This cross-functional mindset isn't always easy. You have to build relationships and trust outside just the sales floor, but it absolutely separates the top-tier organizations from the rest. And in high-growth companies, I'm seeing enablement leads join strategic meetings well beyond sales. Product roadmap, discussions, customer journey mapping sessions, etc., acting as the voice of the field and the customer. That influence ensures no team is left behind in enablement. And frankly, it makes my job way more impactful. When we enable holistically, we're not just fixing one piece of the puzzle, we're solving the whole puzzle for how our company engages and wins with customers. That is the game changer.
All right, rascals, let me ask you this. How much money have you wasted replacing shoes, sneakers, or even bags that could have lasted way longer if only you'd been taken better care of them? I know for me, running from meetings to kids' activities, life gets messy fast. And that's why I always have Jason Mark Quick Wipes on hand. Jason Mark is trusted care to help you get the most out of what you wear. They're not just about cleaning. They're about protecting what you love while protecting the planet. Their wipes are now 100% plant-based and plastic-free, made from renewable lyocell fibers. They're individually wrapped so you can toss them in your bag, your car, or like me, your kids' backpacks. And it's not just convenience. Jason Mark is part of the worldwide B Corp movement, meeting the highest standards for social and environmental impact. They're EPA Safer Choice certified, so you know the formulas are safe for your family. And their products are USDA, bio-based, and certified biodegradable. That means no harmful junk like PFAS or VOCs. Just high-performance care that keeps your stuff looking fresh while doing right by the planet. Personally, as a busy mom and entrepreneur, Quick Wipes are my favorite. They've saved my sneakers from coffee spills, playground dust, you name it. One wipe and I'm ready to walk into my next meeting looking sharp. So here's the deal. Go to jasonmark.com and use promo code Revenue Rascals at checkout for 25% off your order. One time per customer. Again, that's jasonmark.com, code Revenue Rascals. And remember, this podcast is free thanks to sponsors like Jason Mark. I'm ungating sales strategies people pay me six figures for. So go support them, grab your Quick Wipes or your favorite product, and keep your kicks looking fresh. You're in the coaching corner where we stop talking and start taking action.
So how can you bring this cross-functional enablement goodness to your organization? Let's get practical. Here's a few moves and best practices to start unifying your revenue team. So I recommend actually creating a revenue enablement Council. You create a regular forum where stakeholders from sales, marketing, customer success, product, and RevOps gather to align on enablement. Use this council to co-create playbooks, share feedback from the field, and ensure upcoming initiatives, product launches, campaigns, etc. Have an enablement plan for every role. Getting everyone in the same room or Zoom is step one to break down those silos. Make it official and ongoing. All right, here is one on how to align, share metrics and goals. It's hard to be truly cross-functional if each team chases different KPIs. So what I recommend when it comes to metrics and goals is establish shared success metrics across your go-to-market teams. For example, customer retention rate, pipeline velocity, or NPS, not just the classic siloed numbers. If marketing, sales, and CS are all accountable to, say, expansion revenue or gross retention, you'll drive collaborative behavior naturally. As recent research suggests, creating joint KPIs that bridge departments focuses everyone on common outcomes. Put simply, one team, one scorecard. Okay, the next one here is how to develop unified messaging and a content strategy. Well, you need to work towards a single source of truth for content and messaging. This means building a shared content library or playbook that all customer-facing roles use. Marketing might produce the core assets, but sales enablement should translate those into field-ready playbooks and cheat sheets, while product and CS can use case notes and FAQs. I want you to regularly audit and update this content vault so that everyone is working off the latest and greatest. No more rogue slide decks from last year. A unified content strategy ensures consistency at each touch point. It's about telling one story with many voices. The next one here is how to use tech to connect the dots. Leverage tools that help collaboration rather than hinder it. For example, consider a modern enablement platform or a wiki that multiple teams can contribute to. Rather than separate systems for each department, integrate your CRM with your LMS, content management, and even your customer success platform so data and insights flow freely. Also, tap into AI for cross-functional wins. Whether it's an AI assistant surfacing relevant content to reps and CSMs automatically, or analytics highlighting where the customer journey, kind of starts falling through the cracks, you can get that with AI. Automation and AI can significantly streamline workflows and ensure no team is operating in a silo. All right, so the next one is training beyond the sales team. Like, how do you actually do that? Well, you have to expand your training programs to include other revenue driving roles. I can tell you right now, an organization that I'm working with to deliver their brand new sales process and sales training, they have 50, 60 people on these calls across all functions, including CS, marketing, and RevOps, so that they understand how everything goes together and it's that one message. I also want you to host enablement sessions to educate marketers on sales methodologies or customer conversations, offer product and industry training to CSMs and also the product team. Don't forget the product team. They're building what you're selling. You got to bring them in. And this is how you can start to massage in the concept into your organization that everyone needs to be able to spot opportunities and to upsell. The idea here is to create a learning culture that permeates every function. When everyone has a baseline understanding of the customer journey and each other's roles, handoffs become smoother and empathy grows. Enablement can orchestrate this cross-functional upskilling. Think workshops, lunch and learns, or job shadow programs. The payoff is more cohesive teams that speak the same language, which we all know drives revenue. All right, so the next one up here is how to foster that cross-functional coaching with feedback. Well, this is the deal. Encourage a practice where, for example, someone from marketing sits in on a sales call or a salesperson reviews new marketing content before it's published. Create these feedback loops. Sales can tell marketing which collateral actually resonates. CS can tell sales which promises are or aren't being kept. And once again, don't forget the product team. One practical approach is setting up a content or deal like win reviews that involve multiple teams. This cross-pollination builds understanding and trust. As seen in some organizations, even a simple structure like a content committee with reps from enablement, marketing, sales, product, and ops can serve as a guardian of aligned messaging and an incubator for new ideas. The key is to make collaboration systematic, not ad hoc. So remember, the above steps aren't one and done checklists. They represent a shift in your mindset. The goal is to operationalize alignment. It might start with one joint project or pilot, say revamping onboarding with input from all departments. That's a great one to start with to prove value. From there, it's about baking collaboration into processes. And when in doubt, focus on the customer's perspective. And if an initiative will make the customer experience more seamless process between marketing, sales, and service, then it's absolutely worth doing. These moves echo what industry experts are advising to. So for instance, recent enablement research emphasizes setting shared KPIs, a unified content strategy, and leveraging AI to connect teams is absolutely critical to overcome the silos. So I want you to remember, start small, think big, and iterate. Even modest improvements in cross-team alignment can drive better performance before you know it. So before we wrap up, I have a little something for you. If you're a sales or revenue leader or founder, and you're just wondering how your individual leadership skills will support you in change, in uncertainty, in chaos to do things like build out enablement, well, I created what I love to call the Sales Leadership Index Quiz. It's a quick, free diagnostic, and we'll see where you stand, and you'll get tailored feedback. I want you to think of it like a BuzzFeed quiz, but for serious B2B strategy insight. And if you know me well enough, you know that I absolutely love Western pleasure and horseback riding. So you could bet it is Yellowstone themed. So we could have a little fun. By answering a few questions about your sales, marketing, and enablement practices in conjunction with your leadership style, you'll get a custom report highlighting your strengths and gaps for making this move to cross-functional alignment. Consider it your roadmap to becoming an even more dynamic revenue leader. Take the quiz, share it with your team, and compare scores. A little friendly competition never hurts. It's a great starting point to spark conversation on improving collaboration, execution, and of course, continuing to develop our leadership skills. You can find the Sales Leadership Index quiz in the show notes and on our website, quiz.revenuerascals.com. Give it a go. I'm honestly so excited to hear what you discover about your organization and your leadership skills. And of course, if you need help decoding the results or taking action, you know, we've got your back. Tackle the quiz, let me know how you did, and let's keep pushing the envelope on what enablement can do. Until next time, keep selling, friends.
Thanks for listening to Revenue Rascals, where we turn bold ideas into predictable revenue and prove that breaking the rules can still build empires. If you love what you heard, do me a favor. Tap the links in the show notes to support our sponsors. They're the ones keeping this show free so I can keep ungating the six-figure strategies that help you scale faster, lead smarter, and take more freedom home with you. And hey, if you think you'd make an incredible guest or know someone who's built something worth studying, email me at hello@michelleterpstra.com. And until next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and stay just a little bit rascal.